It is therefore my privilege and my pleasure on behalf of the leadership, the faculty, and the students of Shalem College to confer upon you this degree honoris causa, and in token thereof to cause this medal of honor and distinction to be placed upon you.
President Gaffney, honorary degree recipient Eliza Block, faculty, graduates, families, friends. On a warm summer's day 5 years ago, I was in Paris with my youngest daughter, Daniela. It was in the midst of a war going on in Gaza, and there were loud demonstrations against Israel in the streets of Paris. As we walked through the Marais, the Jewish quarter, or the old Jewish quarter, we could hear the angry chants of demonstrators just a few blocks away. I saw the proprietor of a kosher falafel restaurant standing in the doorway of his store. So I went up to him and I said, "What do you think about these demonstrations?" He shrugged. "I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, sooner or later we'll have to leave. It's always been that way for Jews." I thought about that for a moment, and then I replied, "You might be right, but of course, now it's different." "What's different?" he asked kind of quizzically. "What's different," I said to him, looking him in the eye, "is that now we have a place to go." He thought about it for a minute, and he said, "Yeah, we have a place to go." Having to leave where you are and find a place to go, that pretty much sums up Jewish history in many parts of the world for the last 100 generations. And sometimes Jews needed to leave, but then they suffered horrifically when there was no place to go. I'll never forget 3 years ago when I accompanied my son's high school class on a journey to Poland, and the day we visited the death camp called Chelmno. Chelmno was the first Nazi death camp to be established. Today, it's mostly a huge open clearing in a forest. Up to 300,000 Jews were killed in mobile gas chambers and then cremated there, and only a handful, our guide said 7, survived that place. 7 out of 300,000. The stark open expanse of the clearing at Chelmno, the visible markings of the underlying graves that were on the surface of the ground, and the story of what happened there were all overwhelming. My son was especially moved. He took off running from one side of the clearing to the other, and when I finally caught up with him a few minutes later, I wasn't sure what to say. Struggling for words, I said to him, "This is why we have to return home and work even harder to support Jewish institutions in the state of Israel." He looked at me. He said, "No, Dad, this is why we have to move to Israel, and I have to serve in the IDF." My son Ezra is here tonight, and true to his word, just a few weeks after that trip, he made Aliyah all by himself at age 17. Today he serves in the, as Danny said, the Palchan Sakanim unit. I'm grateful to him, as well as his sisters Naomi and Daniela, and to their mother Barbara for their support over the years that has enabled me to get to today. Friends and graduates, the creation of Israel is the transformative event in the modern history of our people. The Jewish people's right to self-determination of our future, not to mention safety, in our own homeland is inalienable. This I know, and that is why I'm here today. Doing whatever I can to sustain the mission and the future of the Jewish people is why I get up in the morning. and helping to strengthen Israel is the essence of my commitment to the Jewish people, if for no other reason than it ends the need for Jews to find a place to go. Now, we all know Israel has many challenges, both internal and external. How do we best meet them in the future? My friend Yair Shamir gave me an eye-opening answer to that question 8 years ago, before Shalem College ever existed. Yair told me it's not a military enemy that is going to defeat the state of Israel, and it's not going to be some economic crisis. The gravest threat to our future is a lack of visionary leadership. We need a new generation of leaders who can unify this country and who can also grasp the global trends that are sweeping the world. And as it happens, there's a proven way to produce such leaders in education and liberal arts, developed in Europe and perfected in America. The idea of Shalem College was to take the best liberal arts tradition, import it, and modify it for Israel. You, graduates and students, already know how powerful it is in widening your horizons and encouraging you to see over the horizons. I agreed with Yair and decided to make supporting Shalem the priority of my communal activities. During my life, I have seen up close the profound effect of both good and bad leadership. So I understood how the Shalem project could dramatically impact the future prospects of the Jewish people. Friends, the vision behind the founding of this college 6 years ago has been reflected in its accomplishments, its significant accomplishments already to date. Let me list just 3 of these. First, we are attracting highly motivated students. In tonight's graduating class, our students average in the top 5% of all high school students entering college academically. And in terms of their military service, they were 5 times as likely as the general population to be officers or serve in special units. And over half of you, and you haven't even graduated yet, have either started or are leading projects to improve Israeli society. Some of these projects include founding a mechinah for Bedouin students, launching a program to revitalize Mizrahi culture and bring it into the Israeli mainstream, and running a program to build bridges between secular and Haredi communities. Those are just 3 examples from a very long list. Second accomplishment. For the last 2 years, in the only ranking of Israeli colleges and universities, which is performed by the National Union of Israeli Students, Shalem College has been ranked first in 14 out of 18 categories out of 60 institutions of higher learning in the state of Israel. And the third accomplishment, as a reflection of the importance that the global Jewish community places on Shalem's mission, as of last week, during the last decade, donors, I'd like to call them investors, have contributed over $111 million to make this college a reality. Graduates, the final validation of this project and the return on the investment now rests on you. As you may have heard, 6 years ago when I spoke at Shalem's opening ceremony, I admonished the incoming class of students, the first class, that there is no free lunch. I should say as an aside, that phrase has appeared on mugs, tzedakah boxes, and I can't even think of where else. By saying there's no free lunch, I mean, as Danny articulated, that the donors who have funded your studies, graduates here, would like to get a return on that investment. And our return is your future actions that create a serious impact on the future of the state of Israel and the Jewish people. So think of it this way. When you receive your diplomas, imagine that tucked inside the folder containing your parchment certificate, there's an invisible bill for the luncheon feast that was your 4 years at Shalem College. Once you graduate, it's time to start paying for lunch by taking up the torch of leadership for Israel and the Jewish people when it is passed to you in the coming years. And by paying for lunch, I don't mean just addressing the current issues facing our people. I mean paying it forward, making Israel safer and stronger for future generations, for your own future children, and for Jews around the world like that man selling falafel in Paris. He and we are all counting on you. And I know that you will make us proud. Batzlacha.